Hey everybody. Alright, so back out here again. I'm going to work on the little 400 small block. Got the crankshaft back from the machine shop as well as the rods. For today though, I think I am just going to go ahead and set the crankshaft in. I do have to press the pistons and the rods together. Well, not press, but you know, the old heat trick. But don't have a lot of time today, so I think I'm just going to set that crank in and then do the other stuff another day. But just wanted to turn this thing back on, let you guys know what's going on, and I will start laying that in, and when I get it in there bolted down, I'll turn this thing back on. Thanks. Okay, so round two. I know I said I was going to turn this back on when I had the crank in there and torqued down, but ran into an issue yesterday and my battery was dead, so I couldn't update you. What happened was I opened my brand new package of bearings, factory sealed. They did not have the upper bearing with the oil hole in it. I had two of those smooth bearings, and the tang is actually even in a different location as well. So I had to go back to the machine shop because that's where I bought them when they did the crank, turned the crankshaft. I just got the bearings from them. But anyways, I'm back out here again. We got the looks to be the correct bearings. They did say 10 over. So hopefully everything's good. I'm going to go ahead and actually finish this up now and get that crank bolted down, but I just wanted to fill you in as to what's going on. Alright, I'll turn this back on in just a moment. Thanks. Okay, got it in there. After bearing mishap and all that, it seems to turn nicely, so I'm happy with that. I torqued all the main bearings to 70 foot-pounds, and I am going to call it a day for now. I got a few other things I need to get going and do, so when I get back out here and start working on pistons and all that, I will turn this thing back on, but for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it where it's at, bag it back up, and call it a day. Alright, so back here, out here working on the 400 small block again. As you can see, I got the pistons and the rods together. Did that the other day. I should have turned the camera on. I know I've done it before, and probably there are people out there that are interested in it, but I will try to remember to do that on the next engine build. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I don't have a lot of time out here today, but I'm going to see if I can at least get a couple of pistons in. I'm going to go over to the 400, get that unbagged, and start working on it. So I'll turn this thing back on in just a little bit. Alright, so I just put a piston ring in there, and it is about 16 thousandths of an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and open these guys up a little bit. I know I was saying I don't know what I'm going to do with this motor, which is still true. I don't know what I'm going to do with this motor, but you know, I was looking in the Summit catalog the other day, and they have the 4.7 cylinder swap, like an LS I guess they call it, camshaft for a small block Chevy, and I've heard of it, but I hadn't really done any research or anything on it, and just from the quick little bit that they had written up talking about, you know, cooler cylinders and better intake charge and all that, you know, because 5 and 7 are firing right at the same time, or not the same time, but right next to each other, so you get extra heat in there. Kind of thinking, you know, since these 400s, probably with the Siamese bore, might have a tendency to run a little warmer. Maybe getting that 5 and 7 not to fire right after each other might be a good thing. So I don't know, kind of thinking I might look into that a little bit more. And again, I don't know what I'm going to do with this motor, but you know, I'm thinking I might go that route and just throw that in there, because I think I had mentioned probably somewhere around 500, 5 1/4 is about what I was thinking of putting in here. That way it's kind of somewhat, could be a hot street or kind of a slower race or something. But anyway, so that's kind of what I was thinking. But let me keep going on this. I will turn this thing back on in just a bit. Alright, so I got the number 1 piston set up here. I wound up opening up that ring to 22 thousandths on the top. The second I left alone, and brought a ring over here, stuck this in, and I could not get the 16 thousandths feeler gauge in there, so but I am going to go ahead and open that one up to 22 thousandths as well, and I will get the rings set on here, get these ready. Once I get this done, it's probably going to be it for today, and then I will turn the camera back on when I get out here and start laying those pistons in. But for right now, like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and get that ring gap set up and get the rings on the pistons, and then I will call it a day. So I'll turn this back on next time I'm out here. Thanks. Alright, back out here again. So I am going to go ahead and get those first two pistons in, number 1 and number 2, and then see what my time is out here, see how long that takes. Possibly start working on ring gap for cylinders number 3 and 4, but like I said, let me get the bearings in these guys, clean out the cylinders, get everything greased up, and start sliding those pistons in, and I'll turn this back on in just a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, I got all the pistons in there finally. And what I'm going to do now is turn this thing upside down, and I'm going to go ahead and get the oil pump on, and the pickup, distributor, drive shaft, all that stuff. And then I will turn this back on in just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Got the pickup welded to the pump there. I got the distributor, or the drive shaft in there with the little case on it, the sleeve. So that's ready to go. And I think for now I'm just going to call this a video, and I will when I start doing top end stuff, camshaft, all that, I'll go ahead and turn this thing back on. But like I said, for right now, I'm going to call this a video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.